Radhe Radhe, Om Namah Shivaya. Today is Saturday, 9th March 2024, and on this special auspicious Mahashivratri weekend, we welcome you to this Bhagavad Gita Recitation recap video, where we have completed now chapter 10. Along with me, here is Mummy.
Radhe Radhe.
Bringing up the screen, you're going to see that we completed, as I said, chapter 10 by finishing chapter 10, verses 41 and 42. We'll first hear one round of their rendition, then learn one or more important Sanskrit words, briefly hear about their content or explanation, and then again go through the two verses. So first up, chapter 10, verse 41.
Yad yad vibhutimat sattvam Shrimad urjitam eva va Tat tad evavagachatvam Mama tejonsha sambhavam Athava bahunaitena Kim nyatena tavarjuna Vishtabhyaham idam kritsnam ekanchena sthito jagat. And let's look at two important words from verse 41. Number one is vibhutim. Vibhutim means opulent, and urjitam. Urjitam means glorious. From verse number 42, let's see. Vishtabhya. Vishtabhya means something that pervades and supports. And very important word, unchain. Unchain. Krishna says he is just the fraction of his being, this universe. So unchain means fraction. Over to you, Gagan.
Thank you, Mummy. Next up, let's just quickly run through the content of these two verses, very briefly, as always. To conclude the chapter, almost there, chapter 10, verse 41, the catchphrase here is sparkling, with a play on the hyphen as the split for spark in ling. So spark, because Sri Krishna says that everything that we see as beautiful and glorious is but a spark of his own splendor. So indeed, everything is sparkling. It comes from spark. Chapter 10, verse 42, the final verse of chapter 10, the catchphrase here is a question, familiar fraction, just as Mami said right now, unchain. That is Sri Krishna saying that this entire creation is but a fraction of his entire being. And he, of course, creates it, he pervades it, he supports it. So that's the fraction part. Familiar with the question is he familiar to us? We do seek to attain God. Some of us are somewhat familiar with God. We want to keep increasing that. So something to ponder. Familiar fraction. Finally, one more connection is, if you all look at the flyer we had, and this will be in detail in our Bhagavad Gita study series when we get to chapter 10, but a very divine grace of God that's been offered, coincidence, for this Mahashivratri weekend. The story, in fact, will be in the commentary. You can take a look at Swamiji's commentary. But in fact, as a question here, this Mahashivratri, how would you compete in a race around the universe? Many of you are familiar with the story. And here, likewise, the universe, the world, just a fraction of God. For Ganeshji, it was just the part of his parents. Just by circumambulating his parents 3 times, he completed and won the race around the universe, while his brother Kartikeya was physically going around the universe. So perfect, parallel to what we have in chapter 10, verse 42. We'll now listen to both the verses one more time.
Yad yad vibhutimad sattvam Shrimad urjitam eva va Tat tad evavagachatvam Mama tejonsha sambhavam Athava bahunaitena Kim nyatena tavarjuna Vishtabhyaham idam kritsnam ekanshena sthito jagat. And Gagan, can we see the... Yes. So we pay gratitude. That is the closing prayer. We have finished chapter 10. O Tat Sad Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjun Samvade Vibhuti Yogo Nama Dashamodhyayah. Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Harihi Om. Hope that helps for revising these two verses. And I would like to wish you all happy Mahashivratri weekend. And for that pure bliss consciousness Shiva, I will say one shloka. कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि. Over to you, Gagan.
Yeah, very divine. Thank you so much, Mummy. And indeed, getting into all the festivities and the bliss of being part of Mahashivratri. One final announcement before we wrap up. Tonight into tomorrow will be daylight saving time starting in North America. So when we meet next time, Saturday, 16th March 2024, for most people, if not all, outside North America, your starting time will be 1 hour earlier than currently. So when we meet next time, it will be regular 11 a.m. CST Dallas time, but 9:30 p.m. India time. Set your alarms, calendars, organizers accordingly, and plan your schedules around that. Till then, study hard, and we shall see you next week. Thank you. Om Namah Shivaya. Radhe Radhe.
Om Namah Shivaya. Radhe Radhe.